Okay, so hello everyone. We have conducted several sessions, about 3 to 5 sessions on chromatography. So today, as we are going to learn the new topic of our chromatographic techniques, that is high performance liquid chromatography techniques. A few description of this, part introduction of this chromatography, high performance liquid chromatography, you people have already learned during your BFAM. So we are going to revise some of the portion in case if you have missed to learn the basic concepts of HPLC. And today here we are going to learn those basic concepts of HPLC, and then we can develop our knowledge base for this high performance liquid chromatographic technique called as HPLC. Now, HPLC is abbreviation and the full form is high performance. People sometimes used to mesmerize this HPLC as high pressure liquid chromatographic technique. So as such, HPLC has nothing to deal with high pressure. The performance of this chromatographic technique is superior. That's why it is called high performance chromatographic technique. Now let me tell you why it is having high performance. Because the separation efficiency is par at the level for your using this chromatographic technique. Separation is excellent. We have to just prepare the sample, have to inject it into the injector, and then the separation will achieve and we will observe the chromatogram in our in this technique. Our majority of the load is released. Column chromatography is a tedious technique. Some column chromatography may run more than a day, 2 days, 1 week, even for carbohydrate chemistry. You people haven't seen the columns. These columns are 5 to 6 feet long sometimes. इंसान की हाइट होती है ना उसमें कॉलम की हाइट होती है for carbohydrate chemistry. Sugars are sugar molecules are difficult to separate. एक बार शुगर का हमने प्रोटेक्शन डिप्रोटेक्शन किया और फिर उससे डाइसैकेराइड बनाया ट्राइसैकेराइड बनाया उस टाइम पे columns are long. So for these kinds of long columns, a kind of patience is required. તેને ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે કહીએ તો ધીરજ. For long column chromatography, long columns, this chromatographic technique is a tedious and time consuming and the laborious technique. As compared to this high performance liquid chromatography, HPLC is excellent technique where you can it can sense the microgram or sometimes nanogram quantity of the compound. The 10 raised to minus 6 quantity of the compounds we can sense using high performance liquid chromatographic technique, HPLC. This is excellent technique which can be used for this purpose. So let us see what is this kind of technique. Before we go to this technique, I would like to show you just a simple documentary, a video documentary to you people so that you can remember what is the instrument that we are exactly going to learn and what can be its impact for this so that we can learn. That's why I'm going to show this video to you people, which is related to this technique called instrumentation. Hope the screen is visible to you people. This is the injector, that HPLC injector. We can inject the sample with the help of injection device. And we can control the achieve separation using the mouse and your monitor. We can visualize the chromatograph in this. In generally TLC, whenever separation will occur, so that is like this in front, in exactly opposite to gravitational force. So that is a way of separation using thin layer chromatography. But when we are doing some this kind of HPLC, how the way we will be observing our results, you can see that these are the colored substances, how they are separated one from another under the influence of this mobile phase. And because of there shall be interactions between the mobile phase and the stationary phase. So this interaction can be leading to this. These are the columns which are used in HPLC. They are made up of stainless steels and having screw bolts and nuts at their ends. But this column inside it contains silica particle like this. So these are the particles which can be used for the purpose, as you can see on the screen, for this thing, a column chromatography. Here is a waste container where we are keeping whatever the waste material will come out, that will be through this nozzle, and we will discard the already used solvents. These are the solvent reservoirs, and the caps have been locked with the help of polythene tubes or cellophane taps. So that a dust particle cannot come from the fan or from the atmosphere. Because a single dust particle, if it enters in HPLC, the pressure will go on increasing, and if it is the situation, there can be a blast. There can be explosion if pressure is not maintained. Still here, safety device is must. So safety device will perform the controlling where pressure will go down if it exceeds beyond certain range. Just like at your home, if there is certain, let us say, extra voltage, or there is a fluctuation in voltage of electricity at your home. So what is your safety? Maybe MCB or maybe some fuse. If you don't have fuse, then maybe MCBs will be there. जरा सा भी आपकी electricity में fluctuation होगा voltage का, MCB will be down. And then you need to, if you want to restore the electricity at your home, you need to put on the MCB. The same way is safety device for this instrument. If the pressure is lot of fluctuating and that goes beyond certain range, safety device will close the instrument. And then we can save ourselves, the instrument, from this blast or explosion. So this is a thing that we can do. This is a robotic arm of this instrument, which contains certain needle which will suck the solvent from this vial, and that suck solvent will enter into the column. It will be pumped into this column, and we can achieve the separation through the column. Here is a column. Sometimes this column is kept in to maintain the temperature in column O. Here it is in open mode just to visualize. Otherwise, it is always kept in column O1, and column O1 maintains the temperature of this column. That is, they say, it can be temperature. We can set the temperature 70 degree, 80 degree, 50 degree by giving the commands to these kinds of inputs. Okay, and this device is connected with the detector. In this diagram, you can see refractive index detector. There are several types of detectors are available: UV visible detector, diode array detector, multiple array detector, or refractive index detector, and some other types of detectors that we can use. This they are showing a synthesis. This they are showing the separation of two compounds. So how it can be achieved from a vial, and this is made up of your column which contains silica particles packed inside the column, and they are nothing but S10. Here they have prepared the injection, and this is the way it is. So doctor का injection होता है ना, similar kind of injection is that, but it is having a port, and then we have to load it by pressing the plunger. Then we have to move the arm so that it can be injected. You will see that Riodyne injector, the kind of injector, how it works by coming slides. And you can see that there are three major peaks have been obtained in this sample. This is the way kind of diagram is maybe here. We can identify how many constituents are present in our sample. That we can easily identify with the help of this technique, what is called HPLC. Okay, so hope that you people have seen that video. I shall also share this video either in your Google Classroom or uh, main Google Classroom, so that if people can make yourself aware, or it is already there on this YouTube video. You can grade yourself with the help of this technique, what is called HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography techniques. This is used not only for the purpose of identification, it is also used for the purpose of quantification. Quantification means where we can, depending upon the area under the curve covered by the eluted peaks, we can quantify what is the concentration of the compound coming out. That we can use for purpose of our analysis, whether a particular sample contains so and so amount of concentration or not. HPLC assays can be performed for a particular drugs. So Pharmacopoeia has given, there are so many drugs for which we can perform the assay using HPLC. So this way HPLC can be utilized. Okay, so now I am going to further discuss to you people before we go to the instrumentation of HPLC. You must be aware about a little basics of chromatography. What is called number of plates, what is called resolution, what is called retention, dead volume, etc. These all terms we must be aware. And first we shall go through this to introduce ourselves for these several techniques. Then we can able to understand the concepts of experience. Okay, so this is a part of your syllabus, and these are the techniques which can be used. Sometimes the techniques are hyphenated techniques. So let us learn first of all the basics of this. Chromatography, since this is not the first lecture, but see, where on chromatography, this is maybe fifth or sixth lectures, sixth session on this chromatography, where we have learned so many things that it is a kind of separation of the compounds. Although chroma deals with color, but chromatography is also applicable to separation of colorless compounds also. In this diagram on this slide, there is a presence of this small column. Although the colors range are there, maybe pink, green, red, yellow, but we can achieve the separation we have if we have mobile phase, stationary phase, and yes, the interactions in them. HPLC, this is how your instrument look alike. We have two HPLCs at our LM College of Pharmacy in quality assurance lab, as well as one HPLC of Shimadzu company at our Atal Incubation Center. You people can make the use of your HPLC. It is useful for all of us. Even pharmaceutical person, if they have developed the formulation, they want to study the stability analysis, or let us say some you develop want to perform the evaluation of this formulation, HPLC can be used. Medicinal chemistry person or a person of pharmaceutical chemistry, if they want to test the purity of their synthesized compound, HPLC can be used to check the purity of their compound. It can be applicable to natural product chemist, which is isolating the compounds from the natural plants, and then they are getting how many chemical constituents are present in the extract. HPLC can be used. It can be useful to a quality assurance person as well. They are doing their projects on this, the stability analysis, metabolic profiling, or degradation studies, etc. HPLC can be used for this purpose as well. And even sometimes, if you have isolated some plasma, or let us say some blood fluids from any animal, then if you want to perform with certain dilution, certain protocols, if you want to identify chemical constituents are present or not, then HPLC can be performed. In this way, it can be used for so many kinds of studies. So HPLC is useful to all of us. This is how your instrument look like, made up of pump, made up of injector, column, oven, and detector. The column is the basically called as the heart of HPLC. Just like insan, we people have heart. If we don't have heart, we may not be able to survive. आपका heart 1 मिनट के लिए, 2 मिनट के लिए, 3 मिनट के लिए काम करता बंद हो जाएगा, आप भी हमेशा के लिए काम करते हुए, आप नहीं, मैं भी काम करते हुए बंद हो जाऊंगा. If my heart stops working. So that's why heart is the major organ of the body. We cannot survive without heart. Sometimes if our brain is become functionless, brain dead people, or sometimes in coma, where the functions of brains are minimum, शायद हमारे लिए जीना possible. We may survive without eyes, nose, etc., but we cannot survive without the fully functional heart, right? So similarly, if heart is one of the major organ of human beings, then column is the heart of HPLC. Why? Where the actual separation can occur. Actual separation can only occur in column chromatography. Other kinds of especially column chromatography, HPLC, and that will occur in column. Column में ही actual separation होता है. That's why it is called as the heart of column. We will come across these terms later on. Now coming to these kinds of these chromatographic terms. What are called several of this, such as this element peak, dead volume, noise, fronting, tailing, resolution, etc. Right? So these are the concepts which you need to understand before we go for interpretation of a chromatogram of HPLC. There is something called dead volume. So what is called that dead volume? We will make the formula for this as well in the future. But let us say dead volume is nothing. But if there is a pipeline between LM College of Pharmacy and the Lal Darwaja, a Patang Hotel. Let us say there is a pipeline between Patang Hotel, Lal Darwaja, and our LM College of Pharmacy. Okay. And somebody from Patang Hotel opened the valve at t is equal to 0 time. The valve is fully open at t is equal to 0 time. It is not necessary that at t is equal to 0 time water will come out from the outlet of this pipe at LM College at t is equal to 0 time. Instantaneously वो नहीं आ सकता because there is a lot of distance between LMCP and Lal Darwaja, the Patang Hotel. There is a lot of distance, maybe 5-6 or 7-8 kilometers. You can check on Google Maps what is the distance. वहां पे t इज इक्वल टू 0 टाइम पे ओपन किया तो यहाँ आते आते कम से कम लेट अस अज्यूम 2 मिनट हो जाते हैं। 2 मिनट के बाद यहाँ से नल में पानी आता है, and the water will come from the outlet of this pipe. So 2 मिनट का टाइम लगता है, तो उसके लिए वहां से कितना पानी अंदर पाइप में रह सकता है, तो दैट वॉल्यूम इज कॉल्ड एज डेड वॉल्यूम। क्या समझ में आ रहा है कि लाल दरवाजा से लेके एलएमसीपी तक का जो पाइप है उसमें कितना पानी हो सकता है, ताकि t इज इक्वल टू 0 टाइम पे हम वाल्व ओपन करें तो वहां से पानी शुरू होगा, और 2 मिनट t इज इक्वल टू 2 मिनट्स पे t1 इज इक्वल टू 2 मिनट्स पे हमें अपने एलएमसीपी में नल से पानी मिल सकता है। That volume which is of a particular, let us say, water in pipe through this two between these two destinations, that is called as dead volume. Same thing is also applicable to HPLC. HPLC में once we have started the reservoir, there is a column जहाँ पे पाइप है, इधर कॉलम है, तो कितने टाइम पे और कितना वॉल्यूम वो खत्म होने के बाद solvent eluent and eluent will come outside. That is called as dead volume. And on chromatographic term, यहाँ पे आपको dead volume मिलेगा। t is equal to 0 टाइम पे आपने शुरू किया और t is equal to 2, t1 is equal to 2 मिनट्स पे आपको सबसे पहला आपका इलेवन कुछ मिला, उसको बोलते हैं डेड वॉल्यूम। दैट इज ऑफ नो यूज टू अस। कभी कभी आप पानी, जैसे आपके घर के पे नल होगा तो वहां पे पानी आता है ना, तो आप शुरू में बोलते हो ये शुरुआत का पानी है, खराब है, इसको डिस्कार्ड कर दो। एक बाल्टी ऐसे ही आप बहा देते हो, फिर उसके बाद आप कलेक्ट करते हो। वाई आर यू डूइंग दिस? बिकॉज इट मे बी हैविंग सम इम्प्यूरिटीज। तो ये जो आपके इधर दिख रहा है ना, दिस थिंग्स, दे आर नथिंग बट दे आर इम्प्यूरिटीज। And then it comes to the baseline. Baseline is not a new word to you because you people have already might have dealt with this. वो फार्मेकोलॉजी में रिस्पॉन्स लेते थे उस टाइम पे, बेसलाइन तो सुना ही होगा, राइट? जैसे आप एक बार डोज देते हो एनिमल को, whether to in vitro tissues or etc., and then if you want to bring, then you need to give the wash to that tissue so that you can achieve the baseline. Similarly, the baseline is here also, it is applicable where we can study this chromatographic terms. Friends, this thing, the graph which you are able to observe over here, this is nothing but what is called this symmetrical peak. This one also, I will consider this peak as well as this peak. So, it is a symmetrical peak. And symmetrical peak is also called as something what is called Gaussian peak. The peak which we can divide into two equal parts. These peaks are called as either as symmetrical peak, or these peaks are also called as Gaussian peaks. Gaussian peaks are the peaks means it was given by Gauss. Gaussian naam isliye aaya because it is symmetrical Gaussian distribution and non-Gaussian, you might have heard in biostatistics. Okay, so this is curve which is called Gaussian curve. Sometimes it is also called as bell-shaped curve because it Gujarati mein dena kahiye to ghanta ka. So it is a kind of bell shape. So there is a bell shape curve for this, which peak which we can divide into two equal parts is called either a symmetrical peak or it is called as Gaussian peak. Then after this, here there is something called a peak, means width of the peak at the baseline, starting from here to here. That is called a width of the peak. Immediately lambai se. That is called width. There shall be some height of this peak also. This is the height of the peak. Peak કેટલું ઊંચું છે. How much it is showing the intensity. Based upon that, we can give the this intensity. If the height is h, then h by 2 will become the half height. तो उसको कहाँ पे कुछ नहीं बोला, यही बोला half height. Divide the whole height divided by 2. So that will become half of the height. And at the width and half height, that we can also consider. We will see one formula where peak width at the half of the height is considered. We will see the formulas for number of plates, theoretical plates, where we will see these terms. We will visit this peak at the base height as well as the width of the peak at the half of the height. That we will visit this. This another term that is called as peak fronting, and that is same applicable to just like if you go to Mount Abu and there is somehow uh, peak, a summit. જેને ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે કહીએ શિખર પર્વત, that is એના ઉપરનો જે ઢાળ હોય, that is nothing but this is as good as peak fronting, where the peak is having little front ढાળ, kind of slope we can see. That is called as peak fronting. It can be also peak tailing, where 50% of it, this is okay. That up to here it was fine, it was perfect, it was symmetrical. But moment it came to here, then it take a lot of time to reach to the baseline. It didn't come immediately to the baseline. करने में जितना टाइम लगा था उससे कई गुना ज्यादा टाइम उसको उतरने में, कई गुना टाइम it required to remove that molecule from the column. So this is what exactly causes peak tailing. Okay, and these are the other kinds of things. Sometimes it is called because of poor resolution. Resolution is a different word. The dictionary meaning of resolution, that means how the way 2 points are closer to each other. If it is said that resolution is higher, means the instrument is enough capable to distinguish two closer points apart from each other. That is called resolution. I repeat, the capacity of the instrument to distinguish two points closer from each other, which are closer from each other, and to distinguish the closer points into apart from each other. That is called as resolution. 1 angstrom resolution is higher than 2 angstrom. Resolution अच्छा है, 1 angstrom if the 2 points are, जैसे if somebody is saying the resolution is 1 angstrom, that means if 2 points which are closer at a distance of 1 angstrom, they can be easily distinguished. Okay, so that is the unit called resolution. And we will also visit the formula for calculation of this resolution. Here the resolution is much poor. Why? Because एक कंपाउंड इल्यूट हो रहा था, वो बाहर निकला ही नहीं था कि दूसरा कंपाउंड बाहर निकलना शुरू हो गया. So that's why it is called as the poor resolution. Okay, so next is kind of shoulder. Shoulder means something which is a peak is having a little shoulder. And the same thing is applicable कि एक कंपाउंड इल्यूट हो रहा था, उससे पहले ही वो खत्म हो जाए, उसका इल्यूशन. इल्यूशन means to come out from column, that is called elute. To elute, to come out from column, and elute to elute verb से ही बना है adjective illusion. And this is what actually called as baseline drift. The baseline was there, it was going, but all of a sudden, instead of coming back to the baseline, it came to the front. That is called the baseline drift. Okay. Here we are again coming to those three terms, what is called Gaussian. Okay, so as you can see here, how a particular peak can be divided into two equal parts. So that is called the Gaussian curve. Then the Gauss is there, tailing is there, fronting is there. This already we discussed, and these are the parts of this can cause the poor kind of separation, the poor kinds of efficiency for the separation of this. That is what here. Then column date time and result retention time. Here, this is basically all uh, retention time. Okay, so T dash R, TR minus T0. What is called retention time? Retention time is the time required to come out the substance from column chromatography. We need to remove the retention T0, which is called dead time or column dead time. Whatever the unretained retained substance which are there. So if you want to remove them, that is called uh, T0, or sometimes it is also called as this dead time. Okay, so you see the retention time. If, for example, is T is equal to 0, this is a dead volume, and the time required for this is column dead time, and the substance which has come out from what is called retention time. So time required to come out from 50% of the solids, our eluent out from the column chromatographic system. That is called retention time. If you want to calculate the retention time, we will have to subtract the total TR1 this, and will have to subtract this dead volume from this TR1, so that we will have retention time TR dash 1. For second compound, if this whole time is T dash R2, this overall time is TR2, so we will have to subtract T0 from TR2 to get TR2 dash. For the third compound, if we have TR3 dash, then if we have T0, so if we subtract TR3 minus T0, we will get T dash R3. So this is called retention time. The time required to elute, to take out 50% of the eluent out from the column chromatographic system is called as retention time. इसीलिए आपको रिटेंशन टाइम में आपको कैलकुलेट करना है, तो आपको अनरिटार्डेड सब्सटेंस के जो टाइम है उसको आपको सब्सट्रैक्ट करना होगा, तभी तो you will be getting this retention. These are the other factors: capacity factor and selectivity coefficient. Capacity factor is nothing but retention time divided by dead volume is called capacity factor. These all parameters have impact on method, resolution, capacity factor, selectivity coefficient, alpha. And selectivity coefficient is nothing but it is a kind of capacity ratio of capacity factor of two separate peaks. That is called solvent selectivity coefficient. And for different peaks, we can calculate this capacity factor and selectivity coefficient. You may ask me that what is the significance of this? So capacity factor is generally, if it is 0, in that case, stationary phase, substance is not retained by the stationary phase. In both of these cases, retention time is equal to T0. So in that case, capacity factor will become 0. In same way, it can be less than 1 or greater than 1, depending upon if the value of retention time is changed. Okay? So if k is less than 1, it will be retained by the column. If k is greater than 1, then greater than 5, then the long retention times associated with band broadening can be observed. So friends, these are the factors which are required for the study of this capacity factor. K dash is equal to T dash R open T0. And T dash R is nothing but what is called retention time minus dead time. So that is called as this capacity factor. Selectivity coefficient is alpha. That is the ratio of capacity factor of two different peaks, K dash 2 and K dash 1, which is nothing but TR2 minus T0 divided by TR1 minus T0. T0 T0 है वो जो रेशियो है वो अपने आप ही खत्म हो गया है. Okay, then resolution R is equal to 1 upon 4 alpha minus 1 into root of n, where you know what is called alpha. It is selectivity coefficient over here. Alpha is there, and selectivity you can identify. You can calculate k dash from capacity factor as well as 1 plus k dash. What is called root of n. N is the number of theoretical plates. How can we calculate it? उसका भी एक अलग formula है. We will visit that formula. Okay. And retention time we can identify from this 2 into TR1 minus TR2. Sorry, R is resolution, not retention time. That is another formula. TR1 minus TR2 divided by WA plus WB. Considering W, what is called WA and WB? WA is a width of a peak A. जो वो यहाँ पे आपको बोला था ना, what is called WA, width, peak width, is wide peakness. उस wideness से बना है width. So that peak width is for this WA. Okay, so that we can also calculate what is called resolution. What is the significance of all of these parameters? The resolution is more important. If two peaks have merged with each other at the resolution of 1 point or resolution of 0.8, then the peaks can be like this, where the concentration of two species is 1:1, and here 1/4 of this, here it is 1:16. But if the concentration of two peaks is, let us say, 1:1, but resolution is 1.25, this says that both the peaks are achieved a complete separation. एक का एक बाहर निकल जाने के बाद में ही दूसरा बाहर निकल. Here it is like this, both है, एक का illusion खत्म होने से पहले ही दूसरे का आना शुरू हो गया. If it is resolution is 1, so लगता है कि थोड़ा सा बाकी रह गया था और दूसरे का illusion शुरू हो गया. But here if resolution is 1.25, that means first compound has eluted completely or about almost, then second compound has started the illusion. This way, resolution ideally is not only 1, but it is more than 1, can be considered as if resolution is greater than 1 or maybe 1.25. So resolution can be estimated with the help of 3 ways. This is equation calculation based upon this. And there was another parameter we can calculate using this formula. And this is also another parameter, resolution. Okay, so this is also a kind of another diagram which says you that if resolution is less than 1, peaks will not be separated completely. At a resolution of 1, peaks will be almost separated. फिर भी थोड़ा illusion का थोड़ा deficiency रह जाएगा. But if resolution is 1.25, both the peaks are separated. And this is a way you can distinguish. capacity of an instrument to distinguish 2 points closer to each other, to distinguish them apart from each other. That is called resolution. If it is greater than EC1, it is sufficient. If it is far greater than 1.5, that is not more desirable because high resolution will extend the time of analysis. टाइम ज्यादा लेगा और किड्स को ज्यादा नहीं होगा. You can achieve the separation. Here you can see what is the value of resolution, capacity factor, and this number of theoretical plates. The comparison has been provided for these 4 of the peaks. Looking at the peaks, you can see that here a better separation is achieved in this third case, where separation is perfect. But if we want to quantify, so we can compare the terms for one term with other term. That let us say what can happen if the separation is increase or decrease. Let us say here K dash is your retention, this capacity factor. So K dash is your N is number of theoretical plates. Alpha is selectivity term. And K dash, that is the retention term. The retention term, selectivity term, and dispersion terms are there. But how they can be calculated? So that is provided over here. Okay. So as you can see, for this peak, K dash is equal to 3. Here it is K dash is equal to 1. And for this peak, K dash is equal to 3. So as the K dash increases, separation efficiency is also increases. अल्फा में 1.1 था, 1.1 था, 1.25 हुआ. वो comma दिख रहा है, but it is in fact not comma, it is dot. So that way, increasing from 1.1 to 1.425, capacity separation increases. And in that case also, if all of this case will have number of theoretical plates about 1600, but the last term has capacity, this number of theoretical plates 3200. But what is the case? K dash is as such, alpha is 1.25, but alpha has decreased. Even if this number of theoretical plates have increased, but the separation is not achieved. So this is what exactly called as this number of theoretical plates. So number of theoretical plates is dependent upon it is a kind of quantitative measure for the purpose of determination of this column efficiency. Right? So as you can see here, this WB is the width of the peak, but WH is the width at the half of the height of this peak. So that is called a particular kind of this number of theoretical plates. And this both the formulas can be correlated with each other. उसका भी एक है कि if you want to calculate if you want to correlate between the width of the peak at half of the height, then equation number 1, equation number 2 can be derived from equation number 1. So this is exactly called number of theoretical plates. N is equal to 16 into TR open WB whole square. And half of the width at the half of the height is equal to, if we can identify, then if that is number of theoretical plates, is plate number is equal to 5.54 TR upon WH whole square. This plate number is not from chromatography. Basically, if you refer to the history of this plate number, then it is from the concepts of distillation. डिस्टिलेशन के टाइम पे जब फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन होता है ना, उस टाइम पे नंबर ऑफ प्लेट्स को बेसिकली यहाँ इस फील्ड में HPLC के फील्ड में एक्सप्लोर किया गया है. And these are the several other formulas for Gaussian peak. What can be a particular peak, and as well as अभी ये जो दोनों इक्वेशन थे number of theoretical plates, that is nothing but retention time divided by standard deviation of a particular peak. And if we consider W is equal to 4 sigma, तो उसका ये formula 16 retention time divided by whole B square. And generally for Gaussian peak, half of the peak width at the half of the peak height is equal to W is half is equal to 2.355 into sigma. इस इक्वेशन में आप सिग्मा के जगह पे ये रख दो तो आपको मिल जाएगा ये फॉर्मूला 5.546. दिस वे बोथ दिस जो लास्ट स्लाइड पे जो भी इक्वेशन दिखाया था ना द सेम इज दैट वी कैन कैलकुलेट द प्लेट नंबर्स. Okay, and here they might have mentioned that basically this came from the distributions. We can calculate this HETP, height equivalent to theoretical plate concept, which we can, which was devised, which was previously with the help of a particular kind of equation, a particular kind of graph, what is called height equivalent to theoretical. Okay, so from here onwards, we will continue in our next lectures to the Van Richter curve, and up to this, let us stop so that in further, our further discussion, we can have a discussion on Van Richter curve, eddy diffusion factor, mass transfer factor, and another factor that is called this longitudinal diffusion that we will see in our coming class from here onwards. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you so much.